Welcome to Greek Verse a Day. Today we are translating Revelation 1:18. As always, I advise you to work from your reader's edition and use the screen for support. We'll start with one slow reading and then a quicker reading. I'll give you time to make sense of the passage on your own before I jump in with my translation and grammar help. So let's go ahead and do a nice slow reading to start. We've got a little bit longer of a verse today, a little bit longer of a section. Kai ha zone kai eginamen nekros kai edu zone emi ace tus ionos ton ionon kai echo tos kleis tu donatu kai tu hadu. One more time, a little bit faster here. Kai ha zone, kai eginamen nekros, kai edu zone emi, ace tus ionos ton ionon, kai echo tos kleis tu thonatu, kai tu hadu. So here I encourage you to pause and see what words you recognize. See if you can figure out what the structure of the sentence is. All right, so as a way of reminder, we have the one standing in the middle of the seven lampstands speaking to John at this point. And in verse 17, the one speaking just commanded him, Me Fabu, don't fear, I am the first and the last. And the first and the last there were both nominative adjectives that were being used substantively. So that's going to continue on. We're going to have another nominative going on right here. In this case, it's not an adjective proper, but rather we have a participle. So you'll notice in your Greek Reader's Edition, you have a note for this word right here. And it's going to tell you that it's a present active participle nominative masculine singular. We get that information from the definite article that comes before it, as well from zao, which means I live. So the one living. And I said it's not an adjective proper, but it is being used, the participle is being used adjectively here. Remember, there's two different ways that a participle can function, either adjectively or adverbially. And in this case, we have an adjectival participle that's being used as a substantive itself. So the sort of subcategory of the adjectival use is substantival, the one living. It makes the participle into an entity. So I am the first and the last, and then we jump into our verse here, and the one living. And following this, now we have an indicative verb here, an aorist middle indicative, first person singular. That men ending tells us first person singular, from ginomai, so to become, or in this case we'll do become, and I became nekros, with another nominative following it here. So this is going to be a nominative masculine singular. And in this case, this is not the subject of the verb. Rather, the subject is the I became, and this is what is called a predicate nominative. And we'll see again another predicate nominative in just a moment here in this verse, but certain verbs, particularly linking kind of verbs and to be kind of verbs, like to have two nominatives going with one another. One is the subject and one is the predicate, the thing being said about, being predicated about the subject. So I is the subject, and the information being predicated about the I is that I became dead. Kai edu, and behold, zone. So we have repeated here the zone from over here, the same exact parsing information, with another indicative verb, in this case an ame verb, ame itself. I am living. Ace tus ionos ton ionon. So this is a prepositional phrase here, meaning quite literally into the ages of the ages, or more colloquially, forever. I live forever. And then moving on, we have another indicative verb here, echo. This one I have. So present active indicative, first person singular. From echo, meaning I have, and I have. And the object of what is had is this right here. So notice our toss tells us we have an accusative feminine singular, and you have a note on this word in your reader's edition. This is a third declension noun. So you'll notice that when you look it up in the footnote, or if you were to look this up in the dictionary, what you would find is kleis, kleidos, hey. And remember, whenever you have a third declension noun, you're given the genitive singular form as well, because the nominative form is often the odd one out. So the stem of this noun is kleid with a delta at the end of it, which we've lost. We lose in the nominative singular. We also lose in the accusative plural here. But this toss is going to give you all the information you need to know about the case, the gender, and the number. So the keys, and then two different genitives modifying the keys. The keys of, remember our our standard translation for the genitive is of, and there's some flexibility with that. There's shades of nuance of meaning of what the genitive can actually do. But we start with of, the keys of death, and to Hadu, of Hades. So to put this all together, and I am living, and I became dead, and behold, I am living forever into the ages of ages. And I have the keys of death and of Hades.